John pretends to be mad in the neighborhood to steal people's clothes for rituals. People in the neighborhood feared the early mornings. Not because of thieves. Not because of darkness. But because of him. Every single morning, just as the sun rose, the madman appeared. He came out slowly, like someone crawling out of the shadows. Barefoot. Dirty. Clothes torn and smelling. He walked from house to house, dragging his feet. Sometimes he laughed loudly for no reason. Sometimes he shouted at the air. Sometimes he sang strange songs that made people uncomfortable. Children screamed when they saw him and ran inside. Women rushed to remove their clothes from the lines. Men shook their heads and said, "Oh, madness is a terrible thing. Poor soul." They called him John. At least, that was the name people gave him. Nobody knew where he came from. Nobody knew his family. Nobody cared enough to ask. To them, he was just another madman roaming the streets. But what nobody knew was that John was watching. As he walked, his eyes were never empty. He watched gates closely. He watched windows carefully. He watched who looked at him and who ignored him. He noticed which houses always spread clothes outside. He noticed which compounds had no fence. He noticed who felt too safe. John remembered everything. When people were watching him, he acted mad. He laughed. He talked to himself. He staggered like someone who did not know where he was going. But when nobody was watching, when a woman entered her house, when a man turned his back, when children ran away, John became very careful. Very calm. He bent down slowly and removed a cloth. A wrapper. A shirt. Sometimes even a child's school uniform. He never rushed. He never panicked. After picking it, he continued walking, still acting mad. People saw him and said, "He is stealing because he is mad. He doesn't even know what he is doing." But that was a lie. A dangerous lie. When evening came, John disappeared. The madman vanished from the streets. People relaxed again. Doors opened. Laughter returned. But far away from the neighborhood, something else happened. Inside a big hidden mansion, John removed his dirty clothes. He bathed slowly. He shaved his beard neatly. He cleaned his nails. When he stepped out, he looked like a different man. Clean. Sharp. Well-dressed. This was the real John. Candles were lit. The stolen clothes were spread carefully on the floor. John stood in the middle of the room. The clothes were not useless to him. They carried sweat. They carried human life. They carried energy. John whispered words under his breath. Words nobody should hear. He burned things. He mixed things. And then, it happened. Money appeared. First small notes. Then more. Then plenty. The floor filled with money. John smiled. By midnight, the madman of the morning had become a rich man of the night.